Sagittarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late April 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Sagittarius collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Saggies in late April as we move from Aries into Taurus season? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Saggy in late April. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick for my good friends. There we go. I'll take it. Now, this card to me, I always say it looks very simple, but there's a lot underneath the surface. This does tie heavily into like strategy, planning, information gathering as well. So I find that really intriguing to me, especially with what I've seen the past couple weeks. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So, as I already mentioned, like, it's beautiful, but it's kind of inconspicuous, right? We have this woman sitting in the middle of the room. It's got a little kitty cat chessboard. The queen is actually red, which matches the blanket or cloth that she has around her. We have this cage and a butterfly that seems to be escaping from it. So there is an implied strategy going on behind the scenes. Now, I think that was heavily implied in your general reading last week, something about strategy and playing. And we'll talk about that more momentarily. But yeah, to me, either some Saggies might be dealing with some things that are a little complex, very nuanced, very detailed things where from the outside looking in, it might seem simple, cut and dry. But if you're actually in it, if you're actually dealing with it, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a big complexity. So watch out for spreading yourself too thin, putting too much on your plate. Because to me, it's like, no, this is more complex. Focus on this, whatever it might be. But the planning here is really, really strong. So whether Spirit wants you to be strategic in how you're moving in this time, or maybe someone else's, that's very possible when we have this card. So like a lot of complexity here for one card, that's for sure. I mean, it is beautiful. It doesn't make me nervous or anything like that. It just feels like there's a lot of layers. So we're going to let her chill out over there. She could keep planning. Let's see what tarot has. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright, and we'll get into that intuitive juiciness and shuffle it up one time here for my beautiful Saggy friends. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled, can you guess it if you haven't seen it? It was titled They Are Planning. So I find that extra intriguing that we have this here showing up starting off this week. And similar to what I just said about this card, maybe there's someone that's got a plan going on. Maybe Spirit wants you to move in a very strategic way with whatever it is you're dealing with. But this has been a theme I've been seeing for a while for Saggy for some reason. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for my Saggy friends. What do we have in late April for Saggy? Thank you. Strength. Cool. Yeah. And this has a complexity too. I love the strength card, but it's another thing that has that vibe where it's like very complex under the surface for some reason. Let's see. Let's get a couple more. Good. Okay. Ace of Swords. I'll take it. Sword of Truth. A big card when it comes to communication. Understanding, clarity. Yeah. A lot of thinking, a lot of mulling something over. So let's get it going here. Okay, so you're going to have a bonus here. On the back end, we have the 5 of Wands chilling right there. They look like they're going to war, right? We'll see what's up with them. And then for your bonus, we have a much softer, smoother energy. We have the 6 of Pentacles right here. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that frames the reading and gives us a good overall vibe or areas of life. And in the main part of the spread, it's all fire and air, my friends, which, again, that's usually an element that Sagittarius is very comfortable with, right? With the fire on both ends and the air in the middle. Now, fire being your element, because Saggy is a fire sign, that's the element of action. So whether it's the actions we do take, the actions we want to take, the actions we plan on taking, the actions other people take, I think of health, I think of vitality, I think of energy levels. So whether you're feeling high, feeling low, fire deals heavily with that vitality. Um, it's good for moving things forward. It's great for that energetic burst, but the downside to fire is the unpredictability, right? Like sometimes fire can look contained and then a gust of wind comes and then it's going all over the place. So it can be explosive. There can be a volatility to it where it's like, be cautious with this. But again, you being a fire sign, it's an energy that you could roll with the punches. In the center, we have the air, very logical, pragmatic. It does speak about information, knowledge acquisition, communication. That's big. So whether you have a thirst for knowledge, maybe there's certain things you're trying to figure out or things that you're contemplating, that could all be the case when there's air showing up. The downside to air energy, it could be a little flighty, it could be a little flaky, it could be a little unreliable, right? Cold, detached. But the combination of the two is either going to be really, really fantastic or something to be extremely cautious about. Now, we do also have Earth here on the back end with the Six of Pentacles. That does kind of bring things down. Earth is more about day-to-day life, routine, stability, predictability, security, money, work, business, finance. So this does kind of hold it down a little bit. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the Strength card. Now, classically, this is a pretty good card, my friends, and it's connected to the Leo collective. If you have Leo placements, if you're connected to Leo, that could be it right here. And we see this beautiful angelic figure with the infinity symbol over her head, soothing that lion. Now, the thing I love about this, it does speak about problem solving, overcoming things with love as opposed to force. That's really nice. But strength to me speak about who someone is on the inside, their internal self. So remember, I was saying there's like a lot of stuff under the surface. This is internal complexity. I like it. It's normally a card of someone that's softer, empathetic, caring. I think of this as a card of willpower as well. So if there's certain things or behaviors you're trying to resist, strength is very good. It has the strength to continue pushing through. So this is someone that is really strong at their core. Love it. Um, the downside to strength is sometimes it could represent temptation. Sometimes this could represent an energy where it's like, yeah, I'm tired of resisting. I'm just going to turn this strength upside down. I'm just going to do what I want to do. Again, nothing wrong with that. Just watch out. Like this is an energy that can cave on certain things. So we'll keep an eye on it. It's also very karmic, right? So there is a really strong energy tied into strength. Sometimes it does show up when spirit might test you. So we're going to have to really take a peek at that. Now, moving to the middle, we have a card that I generally love, right? I love all aces. To me, they represent offers, opportunities, or communication. It's a fresh, new type of energy. The Ace of Swords is a little bit different because this one does tie more into the logical mind. Remember, we were speaking about the suit itself. So this is like logically making sense, where like sometimes we go with our heart, sometimes we go with our mind. Ace of Swords is like, no, go with your mind here. What makes logical sense, what doesn't. This card is nicknamed the Sword of Truth. So if it is a communication or a conversation, it is blunt, it is straightforward, it is to the point. It is very stern and serious. And that's where the downside of the Ace of Swords could come in because it could represent words cutting a little deep, right? So you see what I mean? We have the soft energy here on the front end with strength. It's like, oh, very loving, very caring. Then the Ace of Swords comes in. It's like, all right, yeah, no more Mr. Nice Guy, no more Mr. Nice Gal. This one cuts right to the heart of the matter. So we'll want to look at this. Again, it could just be a talk, offer opportunity. It doesn't have to be anything big or life altering. But I find it intriguing how these energies offset each other. So you might have an extra little edge to you when it comes to speaking your piece, speaking your mind, or maybe there is a talk that needs to be had, right? So moving to the back end, we have the Five of Wands. The good thing about this card, I always say it, and you're not alone. There's a lot of signs that are getting this week. The Five of Wands is determination, right? We see the five people, they are going to battle, they're whooping each other with those sticks. But I always say this is a card of pushing. So similar to the Strength card, I will keep pushing, I will keep going. Can't stop, won't quit. Beautiful. This is a card of perseverance. That's the one thing I really love about it. But at the same time, it could be very aggressive. That's the downside. It could be very aggressive. It could represent anger, fights, like you name it. Like you see what the people are doing here. So like this whole fire air combination, it's like, all right, something could go really, really good. Something could pay off, or this energy could blow up. So I just want to definitely look when we clarify. Now, on your bonus card, I already mentioned it. Six of Pentacles. You see this person, they're being very kind, very empathetic, giving pentacles to the people around them. So to me, it's a card of effort and equality. So this is a really, really good card, and it's much softer, more caring, very similar to Strength. So this on the back end does kind of ground this down a little bit. But with all the oomph that I'm getting here, the fire air combo, the explosiveness, we kind of need Earth to tamp it down a little bit. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Sagi. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for our Saggy friends? What do we got? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I'll just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on Strength. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Saggy, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is Strength here? Why is Strength here? Okay. I got a similar thing in the Aries reading where it's like, hey, maybe at this time it might be best to keep the circle small, the circle of influence, the circle of people around you. You might do that anyway, for all I know. But the Three of Cups in reverse tells me there could either be a situation where there might be someone considering, like, is this worth the effort? Is the juice worth the squeeze? That's one thing. But there is also something here of someone else's energy that could be affecting yours in a pretty big way. So just watch out for that in this time, because like right here in the front, it's I'm not really feeling you too much, which I think could be a good thing. Now let's talk about it. The Three of Cups is usually a card of happiness, joyousness, celebration, right? These people are having a good time. They're celebrating something. Normally it's a win. It can also represent social activities or having fun and partying. So like when I see it in reverse underneath the Strength card, those are the two first ones I get. Is this worth the effort? Am I like, is this worth the effort? Is the juice worth the squeeze? There could be various things going on where you might be analyzing that. There could also be something funky around people around you. So it's like maybe now is a good time to keep the circle small. I don't know why that's coming out so specifically, but it's here. This can also be reassurance from spirit too. Like when I see Strength with the Three of Cups in reverse, it's like, okay, you just got to get through this, Saggy. Like even if things aren't perfect, you got to keep pushing through it. So you might not be here to get a motivational talk from me, but that's kind of how the energy feels. But we're going to keep moving. We don't want to get hung up there. It is what it is. Yeah, like, is this worth it? Is the juice worth the squeeze? I don't know why I'm using that term in particular. But let's see what's up with the Ace of Swords. Let's see what's up with the Ace of Swords. Yeah, this energy like sets something right or sets something straight. So we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. It's like, nah, we need to discuss this. Like it is absolutely either a serious or an important talk. That's how it feels to me. I will say this for a lot of Saggies, and listen, you know, I have a ton of love for the Saggy Collective. I do tons of personal readings for Saggies. My mom's a Saggy. Some of the best people I've known in my life are Saggies. But you guys got a sharp tongue from time to time, right? Like Saggy could definitely wing those words when necessary. So like when I see the Ace of Swords, Five of Pentacles in reverse, the tongue might be a little extra sharp in this time. So again, you might not be trying to hurt someone's feelings, but you might accidentally do it. That's just how it feels. But aside from that, like with the Ace of Swords, Five of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, no, let's do this right. Let's set this straight. Let's have no misunderstandings. Like this is what it is, and this is what it will be. So to me, it feels like either a very important or very serious talk or conversation coming in. Now, again, could it be coming from you? Absolutely. Could it be coming from someone else? Possibly. Right? It all depends on your situation. There might just be something where Spirit's like, hey, maybe you should address this. Maybe you shouldn't sweep it under the rug. Maybe this is something that deserves this sharpness, if that makes sense. We're going to keep going. Interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. But let's go in on the Five of Wands. Now we got this repeating five theme starting to show up, and fives in numerology do represent rapid change. So let's go in on the Five of Wands and see what that has. And we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So why is that Five of Wands here? Thank you. It's better to do it sooner rather than later. I don't know why I'm coming through with that. Okay. Yeah, so we have the Knight of Wands in reverse, one of your power cards. underneath this Five of Wands. It's like, all right, there is something that requires action or attention much sooner rather than later. This is something where you might not want to put this off. So whether it is a situation or a problem, it's like, no, this needs attention. Like, this is something, you ever hear the term nip it in the bud type of vibe, where it's like, let me get ahead of this before something gets too out of control? That's what I'm picking up, especially here on the back end, especially with group things too. The Knight of Wands, as mentioned, is one of your power cards, right? It could also be other fire signs, so Saggy, Aries, Leo. Knights represent action. So we have the action suit with an action card showing up in reverse underneath this Five of Wands. This energy is wild, where it just feels like an explosion of some kind, where it's like something boils over. So I feel like if this situation or this talk is not addressed, if something is not addressed, at some point it will boil over. And then it's like, when it boils over, nothing you can do about it then. So I think there could be a situation or problem that needs to be nipped quickly or addressed soon, because there is a potential for it to become very explosive, like an explosive situation or a problem, if it's not nipped quickly. And I think I saw something similar like 3 4 weeks ago for you. It's showing up again. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. So some very big specific things here this week, Saji. But if you kind of look in the box, it's not like it's all a bad thing. There are a couple little warnings here. But here on the front end, we have strength with the Three of Cups in reverse underneath it. Some of you might be analyzing a variety of things and situations, wondering if the effort is worth it. I'm not going to say yes or no. You would know better than me if you do a little bit of soul searching, depending on your situation. But there's also this energy here of like keeping the circle small. Maybe you need a little more solitude than you normally do in this time. That could easily be it. But there is also the reassurance from Spirit too, where it's like, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. In the center, we have the Ace of Swords with the Five of Pentacles in reverse. This could be a very important, a very serious talk, where it's like, hey, set this straight. I did also say that your words could be extra sharp in this time, so you might hurt someone's feelings. Oh, if it happens, it happens, right? It's not. I don't feel like it's purposefully trying to hurt someone. It just kind of happens. But the big vibe I'm picking up here is like something should be talked about or addressed sooner rather than later. It feels important or serious, especially moving to the back end when we have the Five of Wands with the Knight of Wands, where it's like, okay, you could have done something about it here, but if it gets swept under the rug, it could lead to something bigger. So watch out for explosive problems or situations. I feel addressing it sooner and nipping it quicker is the better way to go. So whatever it might be, where it's like, just address it soon. Don't just let it fester. Don't let it marinate. Just, you want to get ahead of this. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card here. What do we got for my Saggy friends? Thank you. Cool. All right, Six of Cups. This is a very soft type of energy, so it's totally different than what I was picking up in the back end of this spread. Now, the Six of Cups can represent soul ties, soul connections, people that we vibrate on a very similar frequency to. But another thing I always say about it is it represents history. So whether it's someone that you have history with, maybe for some Saggies, you're taking a few extra trips down memory lane, right? Maybe you're doing some reminiscing. This is generally like a softer, more emotionally I don't want to say reactive, but tapped in type of energy. So I don't think this is a bad card by any means. But the downside is this energy could really dwell on things from the past where it's like there's nothing you can really do about it now. So again, I'm not saying it too. This could be somebody else. And maybe that's why we had this whole overall theme of like getting out ahead of something instead of just letting it sit and fester and wait, because there will come a time where it's like, well, there's nothing you can do about it now. So just watch out for that. I don't know why it's coming through so specific. I mean, if you're taking some reminiscing trips down memory lane, there's nothing wrong with that. But I wouldn't focus or harp on the difficult memories as much. So we're going to let them chill right there, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the April subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the April subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice winner's choice once again. At the end of the month, I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to either win their choice of the Gilded Tarot Royale or one of the custom-made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So winner's choice. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, you can let me know down in the comments, how much do you know about the meanings of tarot cards? Are you an expert reader? Are you a beginner, intermediate? Do you know a lot? Do you know a little? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. YouTube changed it. And yeah, that's where it'll be, my friends. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.